Yeah, without further ado, let's start talking specifics about Spotify Wrap 2020. And I'm sorry for any of y'all that are like Apple people, the Tidal folks. But the nice thing is that this year, everybody's got some sort of year-end thing. Yeah, they started copycatting that. I think they should have done that like 2-3 years ago. It was obviously a successful and interesting thing that people would want to know. So I thought they were a little behind on that. But most of us are, well, actually, you know what? Like half and half of our Spotify and Apple listens, that's where they come from. So we're going to be split a little down the middle here, but everybody's got stats. Everybody can kind of relate this to one another. But for my personally, man, I was actually really proud of my list this year just for the way that it kind of echoed some of the lore from the podcast. It definitely made me feel like I did my due diligence as a music listener, for sure. And overall, it was a good reflection of what I felt like I listened to and really cared about this year. Yeah, so we brought it in with Saw Baby today, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was my top 5 songs were all Saw Baby songs. Double Dick, House Party, 100 Round Drum, Purple Umbrella. I'm gonna play Purple Umbrella.
That's my favorite.
Because I know that's Trent's favorite. I know Trent loves that song. And 7-Eleven as well. Now, for a moment, I thought it was hilarious when I saw it come up on Spotify, right? And because it lists them one by one, you know? And so I'm like, is it really going to be all 5 Saw Baby? And it was. But then my next thought was, wow, I really listened to Barnacles, the album, so much that all of it is just right there at the top. And I was wrong. It is sprinkled entirely throughout the 100 songs. The whole album is. Because I listen to it a lot. But as soon as you get to number 6, I have a Silk Money song, and then a Knowledge song, and then a Boldy James song, and then there's another Saw Baby, and then Pierre and Silk Money. And so like those 5 songs really just like scratched their way to the top 5.
Clawed their way up.
They did. Because I went through a series of different vibes with the album. And different songs were favorites at different times, and these were the ones that just kind of averaged out. Besides that, though, on the new artists, just some more numbers that I thought were cool. 517 new artists, 1,500 artists overall. That sounds pretty good, you know, if you're doing a new music podcast. As far as other podcasts, I listen to a lot of other podcasts for the most part, or a few ones a lot. I did about 17,000 minutes listening to podcasts. And also I must say we released our own 3,500 minutes of podcasts this year across 35 episodes. So like 100 minutes an episode, not bad.
Not bad.
And my top 5 artists were Westside Gunn, Knowledge, Boldy James, Saw Baby, and Alchemist in that order.
Oh shit. Okay.
I was a top 0.5% Westside Gunn listener.
That's crazy.
I was top 0.5% Knowledge listener for like the 3rd year of my life.
Yes. A perennial.
Yeah. I really think that I deserve to meet him. I feel like if you get 5 years straight of Knowledge as your top artist, you win a sweepstakes and get to like hang out with him for a day.
You should.
I feel like that's only fair.
I wish you had screenshots from all 5 of the years and them just like crowning him your number 1. Wait, was that your number 1 though? Was he your number 1 overall?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no surprise to me. Yes, he was my number 1. I'll run down my stuff real quick. It was so I had 529 new artists.
Ooh, he beat me.
Like,
he beat me with the extra couple.
I listen to a lot I listen to a lot of like weird indie stuff too. So I was like constantly going on like crazy deep dives with like the rabbit holes and stuff.
Yes,
but
we know you, bro. We know that's how you get down.
So I had 529 new artists. I think it was like 989 or something.
Like all
total artists.
Yeah.
So you beat me by a lot there, but 68,000 minutes listened. So Dev went crazy. I listen to a lot of music. Dev went crazy.
Well, yeah, actually, because wait, I'll pause you for a moment. every year I would float around that like 40 to 60K. And some years when I was really going hard, or I thought I was going really hard, it'd be like 65K. And so sometimes you see people who are listening to 100,000. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? And the key for me this year was that I could listen to music at work. Remember I said the headphones in the hoodie up and the headphones thing? That just helped me clear like 6 hours of music at least, like, most days.
Yeah, if I could have my way and listen to my music at work all the time, Jordan. Just kidding. No. No, actually, you know what? Me and Jordan, I'm going on record. We can say this right now. Me and Jordan have the best taste in music at work by far. Yeah, and Jordan, let's put somebody. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who has the worst taste in music out of everyone in production?
Who puts on the worst aux tune?
The worst taste in music?
Who puts on like the worst moment?
Yeah.
I don't want to say Matthew, but everybody has good music taste.
Yeah, Matthew does listen to like Tame Impala pretty much every day. So
which isn't bad. It's just like over the course of the week, it just gets a little like intense.
and how many people listen to Tame Impala like every week? There's a lot of people we know. I feel like there's a lot of people I know that are like that like. Yeah. Tame Impala is the only thing that
Tame Impala is like cool, but you're just like, man, I could really spend some time away from Kevin Parker right now. but yeah, so I had about 68,000 minutes. Top genre was hip hop. I don't know if you have that on him, but mine went number 2. So that's like your Jay Psalms, your Faye Websters, your.
Wait, say that again, because I didn't catch the genre that you said for number 2.
Oh, art pop or hip hop was number 1. Art pop was number 2.
Dope.
And then underground hip hop. I'm confused about how they
have so
these
many
genres.
And they tell you know what they told me? You listened to 350 genres this year, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
How many genres are there? Like. Yeah, they have like soul as one genre, but like they have 350 genres. How many different? I don't know. So
yeah, and mine was like hip hop, rap, underground rap. It was like, and then it was like pop and something else like kind of cool, but that was it.
Yeah, I think So I had underground hip hop, alternative R&B, and soul. That was my top genres. I already talked about how I was in the 0.5% of knowledge listeners.
Yeah.
I think I deserve to pop up on his Twitch or something sometime and just say what's up. I think I've earned that right.
I think so too.
I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Glenn, if you hear me.
Glenn Earl Booth.
I know I made fun of your name one time, but my man.
And that's a good episode, by the way. If you're going back, season 4 sometime, Glenn Earl Booth. That's a good episode.
With Eric the Young God.
Yeah, 1988 review. We did that with Eric the Young God.
My podcast stuff. Look, the BCB podcast did not end up in my top 5 because once I've said everything I need to say, I know it was because people enjoy listening, but I don't need to listen to myself any more than I already do. And so my top 5 podcasts, they were like random. I don't know, stuff they don't want you to know, which is like a conspiracy theory podcast. Was my number 1. I put in some hours on that too. Apparently there was one day where I listened to 11 episodes of that in one day. And I don't remember that, but I must have been going through some shit. But the rewatchables.
Oh, that's a good one. I listened to that this year too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love Bill Simmons, that whole Ringer. Actually, 2 of these are Ringer podcasts because I had the Rewatchables and I had the Ringer NBA show to get my basketball fix. I had a Zelda, Legend of Zelda podcast for some reason. It's like really high. It's number 4. And then I rounded it out with a podcast on the Zodiac Killer because I got really into that again because I always do that.
Damn.
And then last thing, we talk about my top 5 songs and stuff. Well, my top 5 artists were Knowledge, Faye Webster, Sir, Blood Orange, and The Alchemist, which we had the same number 5. Cool.
Alan, number 5. And he dropped like a few things. So we had Alfredo on the air.
Price of Tea.
The Price of Tea of China. Yeah, The Price of Tea of China and Alfredo both in the same year. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of my streams. And I wasn't even crazy about Alfredo like everybody's crazy about Alfredo, and I don't listen to it that often. But that, plus he did the Food Villain stuff, plus all of his shit from last year is still fucking tight.
Right.
So it's
I think I put in like a good amount of listens on the fucking whatever that yacht one is.
The Yacht Rock too. Shit, these 2 years he's had in a row have been nuts. Like, considering the trajectory of his career, just like over a long period of time, and with these 2 years alone, he's been killing shit.
Right. Not to mention he had an Action Bronson project this year, didn't he?
He had a fucking Action last year. Lamb Over Rice. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. He just put in work. I think he's kind of like a quantity. I just like freaking listen to like everything he put out, so it was like hard to not listen to a lot.
Yeah. It was kind of like when the last year one of my artists was Nudie and the other one was Pierre, because Pierre dropped a couple projects that I love, plus produced that project, and then I listened to that project a ton. So it was funny. I had a similar thing.
Baby Keem wasn't in your top 5?
He was not. Unfortunately, I think if he had dropped an album this year, he would have been very high.
Yeah.
But I think I got like when we did Spotify Rap last year, Die For My Bitch was out, and I had already I had kind of got into it a little late. So like he didn't make that year, and then the carryover from this year wasn't enough to make this year.
Yeah.
So like if you had like a Spotify Rap from like May 2019 to like February 2020, he would have been like number 1. But and then like Dev, my top songs were just a sweep. It was all Faye Webster. I was really there was a moment where I was really in my feels, and I was listening to that fucking Atlanta Millionaires Club. Yo, if you haven't listened to that project, that is an amazing, not for everybody, but man, you're getting your feels listening to that stuff.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Jordan, did you do you have any Spotify Wrapped as you listen? Are you a Spotify listener? Or you shared?
I'm a Spotify listener.
Okay, yeah. Do you recall any of your listener stats, or if you want to share your artist stats too?
I think the one this year, from the artist perspective, the one this year compared to last year was like a giant jump, which a lot of the people that I follow looks like this year. Everybody's on like this consistent upscale.
Yeah.
Unless, sometimes I'm like, is Spotify just like making some of these weird country stats up to like inspire people? But I don't know.
They also did, I would say, a good job of kind of posturing the stats to just show like if you're expanding, if you're kind of, like if you're doing the really basic things, right? Putting out the content and promoting it correctly, like, you're going to grow, and then they're kind of showing that, like, based on your percentage of, how much you were doing at one time. And so, I noticed that too. Like, it kind of, they did an all right job making everybody feel like pretty good about what they did. Made their stats very postable too.
Totally.
So I agree. But I don't know, I'm interested to hear from your perspective too. Like, just the artists' stats that you get at the end of the year, and kind of like how you personally consume those or even feel about those. It's only one DSP.
There's a one part of the stats that says like all the countries that listen to you and the new countries that listen to you, which I'm always curious who that like one person in, instead of top newest most listened to country is Lithuania. And I'm like, I'm wondering who it is. I'm like, can this Lithuanian person reach out to me so I know who this is? But it says that overall countries is a lot of the people that I follow that are like indie artists. I keep seeing 98 countries. So I'm like,
that's what I was saying too.
I wonder if Spotify has like sort of the largest countries and then like kind of a place that they broadcast to in general, because it's just like a number I see a lot.
I always see it maxed out at like a certain number.
The other parts of the thing, the listens are, it'll show you your top song, it'll show you your like how many people were listening to that song at the same time the most, like the max number, which is usually probably just like right after you release it. But that was pretty interesting. I don't remember these numbers on my
No, that's good. But I didn't even know those stats were given you. So this is interesting. This is just knowing kind of like what it is from your perspective.
That, and then it'll tell you like the most, not just the most that everybody was listening to it, but like the kind of scale of when it was listened to the most, up and down, like month to month and stuff. Which there's like a whole app for Spotify for artists that give you your stats consistently. So it's pretty cool. Do you use that for your podcast too?
We do. There is a link for me to go through to Spotify and see our Spotify stats across the year. But since it's not already attached to like my personal Spotify account, a lot of times when I'm just looking at it on the computer or looking at it, so I can't like really access it. I have to go through our publisher to kind of access it. So I rarely look at it. And then I can usually just look at stats on the publisher app itself, which is Anchor. And so, I rarely see them. So for me, the end of the year thing was kind of cool. Like to get it all packaged up in one little thing at the end of the year. That was kind of cool because I don't really look at it that often. Plus, it's just Spotify. And really, like, we get about half and half from Spotify and Apple. So I know, whatever I get from Spotify, that's basically just half my stats. But it is cool. It is cool to see. And I don't know, it's nice. It's nice to reflect on. Like I said, they do position the stats to be generally like, favorable. They'll look usually pretty good and encouraging.
That's cool.
So, but from like a more just personal standpoint, how do you feel like 2020 was for you for Fox and Tiger? By the way, guys, we're talking to Jordan Hills.
Yeah.
And are you Fox or are you Tiger?